It is infamous how staunchly the Jedi Order adhered only to the light side of the Force. The Jedi believed in performing their function as keepers of peace in a strict and certain way, denying many aspects of the Force that they deemed to be too dangerous or far too tempting towards the dark side. Many of their fears aren't exactly unfounded though, as some of the most powerful Sith in galactic history came right out of the ranks of the Jedi. With the Jedi having had 5 great schisms in their order before, it makes sense that they would try everything in their power to stop any inkling of the dark side from piercing their sacred temple. Many codes, rules, and regulations were imposed on the Knights and Padawans to ensure that only the light and will of the Force was sought after by those within. Though one might say that this tighter squeeze, the tighter the order more drove many of their members away. But what we wanted to focus on in today's video and in today's analysis was the top 7 banned Force abilities of the Jedi Order. 7 Force abilities that the Jedi Order deemed too dangerous. There were far too many dark side abilities to count that would get you in trouble with the Jedi High Council, so for this video, we won't simply be focusing on just any of the dark abilities that would get you a slap on the wrist, or even harsh punishment. No, today, we will be exclusively focusing on the worst of the worst. The kind of Force abilities that even if a Master of the Order were caught attempting to do them, they would be almost instantly thrown out of the Jedi entirely. So without further ado, students of the Force, let us begin. Number 7, Force Crush. Force Crush was an ability of a bit of a slippery slope, as it had several caveats for the Jedi. In the Clone Wars, Force Crush became more of a widespread use as it was particularly effective against battle droids. Jedi were able to dispatch several battle droids and effectively disarm doors by simply using their telekinesis to crush them completely. Where this ability walks the line of the dark side is when one uses it against a living thing or person. While there was a loophole when the ability came to droids, the Jedi Council was diligent to make sure that this power did not get out of hand. While force choking someone will land a Jedi in deep trouble, but not outright banishment, force crushing a living person would most likely cause a Jedi to not only be stripped of their rank, but also court-martialed. Technically, it is written that the Jedi should refrain from using the Force against another being as much as possible, as exerting one's strength over another is not the Jedi way. However, as we know, when it came to the Republic class era in the Clone Wars, this sort of thing was more or less tossed out the window during wartime and during the Clone Wars in the faces of many Jedi, as many Jedi became a bit more ruthless and liberal with their use of the Force as the wars went on. Though the Jedi Council drew a line in the sand when it came to using the Force for sheer cruelty, and Force Crush pertaining to living things falls within this category. However, it should be noted that both Jedi Council Master Mace Windu as well as Anakin Skywalker used Force Crush during the Clone Wars. Number 6. Force Plague. As you'll notice with these first few, many of these have light side variants that can be quickly exploited and turned towards the dark. This ability in particular is a slippery slope if the user is not in complete control of what they are doing. Force Plague starts as something called Force Slow, which is not the same Force Slow as you might have seen Jedi such as Cal Kestis use. This ability does not have anything to do with slowing a fast-moving object, but rather slowing another being's very mind. It is a mild ability that allows a Jedi to simply cause their opponent's mind and body to slow down, which then leaves them vulnerable to be incapacitated in a quick, harmless, and effective way. Where this ability starts to become problematic is if the Jedi doesn't stop here, and the ability becomes Force Affliction. Affliction worked much like a fast-acting poison, quickly debilitating any given target. The effects of Force Affliction worsen over time and may cause death if the user is strong enough in the Force. This ability may land a Jedi Knight or Master in hot water, but not entirely out of the order so long as the creature did not die by its use. Force Plague, though, is where the line is drawn, and a Knight will be severely punished and likely stripped of all ranks. Plague worked like a fast-acting poison, horribly debilitating its victims. The effects of Plague continue to worsen over time. Plague could cause incredible pain, and even if the afflicted creature survived, they would likely be permanently disabled from this power. At number 5, we have Force Lightning, an obvious choice for obvious reasons, but this one and the one after it on this list have a very specific caveat to them. Some Jedi Masters are allowed to practice a variant of Force Lightning under sharp supervision. This ability is known as Force Judgment, or later perfected into Emerald Lightning. Emerald Lightning was an ability made popular by Jedi Master Plo Koon. Using one's heightened belief in righteous justice, one can use the light side of the Force to manifest a non-lethal burst of lightning that would more so stun an opponent or act as a sort of taser, just dropping them for the time being until they could be bound and arrested. Obviously, Force Lightning will land you a spot in Jedi Court, where you have decided to focus all of your anger and hatred against another person to intentionally torture them to death. Nothing is more against the Jedi Code than this variant of Force Lightning, its truest variant in fact. Number 4. Morechiro. One of the only abilities on this list that is not inherently dark in nature, but could quickly be turned towards dark purposes, is Morechiro. Frequenters of the channel will recognize this as being the signature ability of Jedi Master Yaddle, and Yaddle may in fact be the only member of the Jedi Order permitted to use such an ability. Morechiro is the ability to slow the functions of an entire body to the point of putting it into a mild catatonic state or even long-term suspended animation. It is completely off limits for knights to use this ability, as an untrained user could accidentally, but very easily, stop the heart of a being from beating. At number 3, we have Mind Domination. The second most recognizable ability to even the common people of the galaxy is the Jedi Mind Trick. It is famous and one of the reasons why many people somewhat fear and mistrust the Jedi. The Jedi Council is very diligent to ensure that the Mind Trick is only used in moderation and not abused by any of their ranks. It is a tricky process, as the ability is open for any Jedi to use, even Padawans. However, Padawans are only ever able to use the ability under their master's supervision, as they might abuse it once they learn of its true power over the weak-minded. The self-imposed weaknesses of the Mind Trick is that it can only be used against those who lack sufficient mental fortitude, and even then, the Mind Trick can only be used once or twice against the same person, as once the effects wear off, they will know they have been mind-tricked. However, there exists a more aggressive form of this power, and is only utilized by the Sith. This is known as Mind Domination. Siths such as Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis has used mind control to their benefit on more than one occasion. As the name suggests, this ability allows a Force user to assert their will over another and completely eclipse any form of free will. The Mind Trick, by contrast, is more of a gentle persuasion technique than simply using the Force to open another's mind to suggestion. Those who are strong thinkers can reject these suggestions and break the connection. However, Mind Domination breaks their will completely and enslaves the victim to the will of the Force user. Doing any form of mind control is a very quick way to actually be locked up by the Jedi, and is strictly forbidden. Number 2, Force Fear. Force Fear, also known as Force Insanity, Memory Walk, or Torture by Chagrin, is another mind-altering Force ability. The Jedi strive to ensure that their connection to the Force is never used to abuse others in their own space, even if it is a criminal that they are interrogating or an opponent that they are facing. It is the Jedi way to give all a fair chance and a fair trial, even in battle. Force Fear nullifies this in a very sinister way though. This ability invades the victim's mind with dark energies, horrific images, or by forcing the victim to relive their worst pains and moments over and over again until their mind completely shatters, causing them to go utterly insane. These effects are usually permanent and require a team of skilled Jedi counselors to restore someone's mind after it has been broken with this ability. It is a cruel and unfair ability that puts any Force user to shame when they decide to use it. Sith, of course, do not care, and will feed off of the resulting suffering from this ability. And finally, the number 1 forbidden Force ability is known as Deadly Sight. Outlawed by Grandmaster Faye Coven herself, Deadly Sight is noted as one of the rarest Force abilities to exist, even by the standards of the Sith. Deadly Sight is the ability that allows a user to harness intense hatred and fury into a focused glare onto a victim, as long as the victim is within their user's range of vision. Deadly Sight has been known to blister skin and even vaporize entire extremities. This ability literally allows one to kill someone slowly and painfully just by looking upon them. Luckily for the galaxy, it is one of, if not the rarest Force ability to ever crop up in history. But if a Jedi is found to have been born with this ability, they are extensively lectured never to use it under any circumstances, no matter what. Though I can't help but wonder if someone is born with this innate ability ability to use deadly sight as a Jedi? Could there be a light side focus for this? Just for a moment, I would like to break down the properties of deadly sight and propose that there could actually be a good use for it. Like some force abilities, such as battle meditation, a user has been born with the innate power to touch this specific ability. And if battle meditation can be used for either the light or darkened purpose, what if deadly sight could as well? Using the loophole established by Plo Koon when describing force lightning and creating force judgment, where they actually instigate the power with another emotion and could use it to maybe burn away their ropes or bindings should they ever be captured. But the ability allows the user to focus an intense beam of pure force energy straight from their eyes. What if a Jedi with deadly sight could use it to slowly force heal someone just by looking at them? Just a thought. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of our list, and which one do you agree that the Jedi should keep banned, and which ones do you think that they should be allowed to use more widespread? Let us know your thoughts down below. And as always, students of the Force, thank you so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.